Hello, everyone. Welcome to Casual Experts. I'm Mike, and this is Luke.
Hey guys.
Today, I guess the DCU first chapter slate was revealed by James Gunn. There's been like a lot of chatter leading up to today. I knew it was coming out at 12, but I was at work, so miraculously I've been able to avoid like all spoilers. So definitely happy about that. How about you? Have you like seen anything yet?
Yeah, I've been saving myself. I've seen a couple of things. Like there was I've seen
Uh,
some things, but for the most part, I've been saving myself. But like a Baptist woman on her wedding night, I'm ready, man. I'm ready to go.
all right, fair enough. Yeah, I've been like avoiding social media like the plague for the last several hours,
Yeah,
so I managed to miss like everything, thank God. So I'm pretty excited for this, honestly.
yeah, yeah,
I heard that there's more than just a few projects, which I've been hearing for a long time that it was just supposed to be a few.
yeah.
Um, and it dropped as a video on YouTube, which I wasn't sure until today if they were going to do that or just like let the news outlets,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Because normally it's
release
like
all the
a
news.
like a like a press conference, like a Comic-Con live panel or something like that. But
Right, yeah. So I wasn't sure, or like I was kind of half expecting for a while that James Gunn would just like tweet about it,
mm,
but thankfully it's a little more official than that.
yeah,
But
it's hard to react
yeah,
to a
without
tweet.
yeah, we wanted to give you guys our authentic reactions and first thoughts. So
Yeah.
let's just jump into this 6-minute video. Yeah, apparently chapter 1 is called Gods and Monsters. I guess he's gonna name each chapter. I'm
Okay.
guessing these chapters are kind of like phases, kind of like Marvel does their phases.
Yeah,
I'm kind of
that's
thinking.
that's what I was thinking, but then they said it's bigger than they expected. So I'm wondering if like a whole chapter is like is that Iron Man to Endgame? Is that like a whole chapter
Mm,
or like I'm
yeah,
interested to see what that means.
interesting. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's fair. All right, well let's just jump right into this.
Hey, everybody, I'm James Gunn. I'm the co CEO of DC Studios. So, as many of you know, DC has been disconnected in film and television for a long time. And it's one
Yeah.
of our jobs, mine and Peter's, is to come in and make sure the DCU is connected in film, television, gaming, and animation. That the characters are consistent, played by the
Interesting.
same actors, and it works within one story.
That's gonna be quite a
And if
quite a
something
task.
is
I feel.
outside of that, like Matt Reeves' Batman or Todd Phillips' Joker or Teen Titans Go, that it is clearly labeled as DC Elseworlds outside of the
okay.
mainstream DC.
That's actually a really good idea.
Now,
Yeah.
Peter and I have gotten pretty lucky in terms of the 4 projects that are coming out over the next year. First, we have Shazam: Fury of the
Okay,
Gods.
so he is addressing
Shazam
that
has
stuff.
always been off kind of in his own part of the DCU, so he connects very well. That moves directly into The Flash, a fantastic movie that I really love that
okay.
resets the entire DC universe. Then to move into Blue Beetle, a fantastic film about a kid who's a marvelous part of the DCU, and then into Aquaman 2, which leads directly into our next few projects, which I'm going to tell you about
Okay,
now.
direct
So
connection.
Peter
Interesting.
and I, along with a group of very talented writers, have started to map out an 8 to 10 year plan of what DC Studios will be in film, television, and gaming. This first chapter is called Gods and Monsters. Now, what I'm about to tell you is a part of the first chapter. It's not the entire first chapter.
Okay,
The
that makes
first
sense.
project is Creature Commandos. Creature Commandos is an animated series. I've written all the episodes. Something we're going to do
Okay.
that's a little bit different at DC is we're going to have characters move into animation, out of animation, usually having the same actor play
That
their
will be
voice
interesting.
as who
Yeah.
plays them in live action. The next project up is Waller. This is a story of Amanda Waller, played
Live
by
action
Viola
TV.
Davis.
Okay.
Viola
That
Davis
makes
is going to
sense.
team up with members of Team
Okay, so
Peacemaker.
it's still Viola
And
Davis.
this is a story that's been created by Crystal Henry, who did Watchmen, and Jeremy Carver, who created the Doom Patrol.
Okay.
It is a fantastic story that's out of this world, and I can't wait for people to see it. Okay. Next up is the big one, the true beginning of the DC.
I wonder what that'll
Here
be.
we
Yeah.
go.
This
yeah.
is called Superman Legacy.
Legacy,
This has
okay.
been written by me.
Interesting.
I'm in the middle of it. I'm having a great time doing it.
Isn't that from All-Star
And
Superman?
will be
I think so.
released
Art?
into
Yeah.
theaters July 11th, 2025.
2020, okay.
The
There we go,
next
July
thing is a big
2025.
premiere HBO television series called Lantern.
Oh, thank
This
God.
is the story
Yeah,
of a
there
couple
we
of
go.
Green
Yeah, this has been
Lanterns,
rumored
John
for a
Stewart
while.
and Hal Jordan, and we have a few other Lanterns
Oh.
peppered in there. But this is really a terrestrial-based TV show, which is
Okay.
almost like True Detective with a couple
thank
of
God.
Green
I was-
Lanterns who are space cops watching
Nice.
over Precinct Earth.
Okay.
In it, they discover
I'm looking forward
a
to this.
terrifying mystery that ties into our larger story of the DCU.
Okay.
Next is a big movie called
The
The
Authority.
Authority. The Authority is a passion project of mine. It's based
Interesting.
on the marvelous Wildstorm characters.
Okay.
We are now bringing into the DCU and will interact with all of our primary DCU characters.
Interesting.
The Authority are a group of superheroes.
I'm not
who
super familiar
think
with
the world
them.
is broken.
Yeah,
and they
I
want to
think it's
fix
more
it
of a
by
new
any means
team.
necessary. I think it's a very different look
Gotcha.
Which makes it
at
interesting.
superheroes. We're doing
Yeah.
a television series called Paradise Lost. Paradise Lost
Oh.
is a story of Paradise Island, usually known as
Yeah, I was
Themyscira,
gonna
which is
say.
the birthplace of Wonder Woman.
Interesting.
It's almost like Game of Thrones with Westeros, but with all of the inhabitants of Paradise Island.
Okay.
The introduction of the DCU's Batman is The Brave and the Bold.
Ah.
The Brave and the Bold is the
Nice.
story of Batman and his actual son, Damian
Oh,
Wayne. This is
okay.
wow,
based
we're
on
actually
Grant
we're actually gonna get a
Morrison's great
live action
comic book
Robin
run.
again.
Damian Wayne
Okay.
is my favorite Robin.
jumping quite
He's
ahead
a
with
little
Damian Wayne. That's
assassin
interesting.
who
Yeah.
Batman tries to get in line, and so this is the story of the two of them and the beginning of
Interesting.
sort of the Bat family in the DCU.
That family.
Next up is a TV
Ooh,
series
Booster
called
Gold.
Booster Gold. Booster Gold is one of comics' really popular
Huh.
cult heroes. He is a fascinating guy. He's a loser from the future who uses future technology to come back to present day and become a superhero.
They're
that
finally
people will
doing a
love
Booster
him.
Gold
It is
project.
basically the superhero story of imposter syndrome on an HBO Max series. One of my favorite comic book series from last year was Tom King's run on Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. And so we're going to turn that into a big science fiction epic film.
Ooh, okay.
Now, Superman is a guy who was sent to Earth and raised by loving parents, whereas Supergirl in this story, she is a character who was raised on a chunk of Krypton. She watched everybody
interesting.
around her perish in some terrible way, so she's a much more jaded character. And that brings me
Ooh,
to
Swamp Thing.
the last thing we're going
Okay.
to talk about, a very dark horror story in the origins of the monster who is Swamp Thing. And although it's totally outside of the rest of the DCU, it will still feed into the rest of the story.
Ah, okay.
Anyway,
That's
those
cool.
are the stories that I can tell you about right now. I've loved the DC characters since I was a child.
Huh.
They're incredibly important to me. I knew that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to do something very different. One of the things that's very important for me in all of these movies and TV series is that the director's vision and the vision of the writers and all of the creators is unique and something special. Storytelling is always king. That's all that matters to us. And I want to be true to those stories. I want to be true to you guys and really give you something different than you've ever seen before. Anyway, thank you, everybody. I appreciate you watching. I hope this was exciting for you because it's really exciting for me. And I can't wait to start to dive into these stories with you guys on this grand adventure. Thank you so much.
Okay, well, that was that. So, I guess, what are your initial thoughts about this?
A couple of things. Right off the bat, it's interesting that he's starting with Damian Wayne. That almost implies
Yes.
that the other Robins are out there and they're already kind of in their final forms, for lack of a better term. So,
Yeah.
like, are we going to get like a Nightwing, Red Hood, Red Robin right out the gate?
Right.
I'm interested to
Right.
see what that is. Another thing, on a kind of a different note, Paradise Lost is an interesting title. For
Yeah.
those of you who don't know, that's actually the name of a fictional story. It was the story of Garden of Eden written from the devil's perspective. So I don't know if it has anything
Yeah,
to do with
I've
Wonder
heard of
Woman,
it.
but you know, it's an interesting title.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then again with Supergirl, it's sort of interesting that he's kind of not only introducing the main characters, but kind of also their supporting cast as well. I'm assuming they're going
Yeah.
to do that in the Amazon show. And also
Yeah.
with the Green Lanterns, you know, they're introducing them as a group instead of just as an individual. So that's interesting.
It's a very interesting mix of like main heroes and then more like obscure heroes, or at least ones that haven't been done before. I'm kind of curious like what that, because both Superman and Batman are like getting their own movie,
Right.
which I was not expecting Batman to get another movie. But and I'm honestly okay with them skipping to Damian Wayne. Like, I'm okay with the Bat family already existing.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't really want to wait another like 12 years for them to slowly like build up to like, like I'm okay with skipping,
Yeah.
especially considering how much Batman media there is out there. I feel
my
like
only thing about that is
yeah,
if they can skip all their origin stories as long as they're there, like as long as like they're in the
sure,
continuity. Because if they just skip them over
yeah,
entirely, I'm not super happy with that. But if they're
sure, yeah.
involved, if like there's a mature Batwoman, Batgirl, Nightwing, etc., if they're there, then that's fine. I don't need to see their origin stories on screen.
Right, exactly. Yeah. No, I totally agree. I hope it's not like Damien's the first Robin,
Right.
which I'm guessing he won't be, considering he's like the fourth Robin,
Yeah.
and like I know James Gunn knows the comics, so I doubt he would just be like, yeah, the other ones don't exist,
Yeah.
Because especially considering he's doing world building, I'm assuming he's probably going to that's going to lead to like Nightwing, a Nightwing spinoff
Yeah.
at some point and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about the ones that like are kind of more obscure, like the Waller one. Like she's not an obscure character, and he also made it seem like that was still in sort of the continuity.
Yeah, he said they're going to be
what's
teaming up with Team Peacemaker, so it seems like it's going to be a continuation.
it seems like it's almost going to be like a spin-off. 'Cause
Yeah.
they've already announced this show actually a while ago. Like it was rumored or like kind of announced that there was going to be an Amanda Waller project at some point with Viola Davis. So I guess they're still going through with that, and I'm guessing that's sort of supposed to be connected and sort of almost a spin-off of Peacemaker.
Yeah.
But it seems like that's still. So I'm wondering like how they're going to explain like is it the reset, or if he did say that the Flash reboots
Yes.
everything. So maybe that's technically the last one, even though it's in the middle. Like that's like the reboot, and Blue Beetle, the Waller show, Aquaman 2 all take place like before.
Okay.
And the Flash movie is like the reboot. That's what maybe I'm guessing, unless they have some other. But it definitely seems like he's going to address stuff because he did bring up the movies coming out
Right.
this year, which I wasn't sure what he was going to do with that. So I guess ultimately that kind of puts me at ease a bit, because I was a little afraid he was just going to start making new movies and just kind of ignore what's going on now.
Right.
So I am glad he addressed that. He isn't just totally giving a middle finger to like everything that came before, which some people are acting like he is. Also, I like what he said at the end, focusing on like story and filmmakers' visions,
Right,
which
'cause one of the criticisms for Marvel is that they're all very similar, and so I'm hoping that they can keep the
Exactly,
continuity
yeah.
but have each thing be its own thing narratively.
yeah, that's what. Yeah, I think that could really be what's unique about this DCU.
Right.
Not only the whole like thing with like shows and movies being, which I guess Marvel's kind of been started doing that with the Disney Plus shows,
Yeah.
but before that their shows were a mess, like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Daredevil, all that stuff. So that's a bit unique, but then also I think just each movie having its own feel, and like
Yeah.
each director being
Yes.
able to have a lot of creative freedom.
Yeah.
I think that could really set it apart from the MCU and make them like really good movies. But I think that's mostly what I wanted to talk about, because I think we should get more in depth in an actual podcast episode, which will be coming out this Monday.
Yeah.
So we will be getting more in depth into all this and taking each project one by one and talking about it. What are you most looking forward to out of all the projects listed? What's like what you're most hyped for?
Right out the gate, probably the Brave and the Bold, because I really love the Bat family, and I
okay.
really want to see that.
Yes.
I really want to see that. But then also something that's interesting is, well, I think tied for second place, I would say, is the Supergirl one, because I'm curious if that's going to be
Okay.
Sasha Calle. Was that her name?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm curious if they're going to carry her over from the Flash.
Me too.
And then also in the second place is Swamp Thing, because like right out the gate they're doing horror, which is kind of how DC has a leg up over Marvel, is because they can actually do more mature content in the movies and not just on Disney Plus. So I'm really interested to see where they go with that.
That's something that really put me at ease too, was he was saying it's a dark horror.
Yeah.
So like, I know a lot of people, I wasn't super worried about this, but I know a lot of people were worried that like every movie is going to be a James Gunn comedy, but the fact that he addressed that there's going to be different tones, definitely put me at ease. And it's like, not, they're going to treat every character with the respect they deserve and not make them all just, a punchline kind of thing, I think for me, the ones I'm most excited for, I think the thing that's keeping me from being excited about Batman the most is because I'm getting a little Batman fatigue.
Sure.
Like I feel like I've really enjoyed the last two versions, Robert Pattinson and Ben Affleck. I'm like, I don't really like feel like watching a new one, but at the same time, I do love the Bat family, so I'm a little torn there.
Yeah.
But for me, I think the ones I'm most excited for are the Lanterns, which has been like in development for forever. They were calling it Green Lantern Corps as a movie and then a series, and now it seems like the HBO Max series is still going through.
Yeah.
What I'm really like, I'm so happy about that because it's exactly what I wanted it to be. I've been like thinking for years that a buddy cop, like almost a Lethal Weapon type movie, with show with Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart would be perfect for an introduction to them.
Yeah.
And that seems like pretty much exactly what they're doing. Though he said like True Detective, so I'm guessing it'll be like a little more serious actually.
Yeah.
Which is going to be cool, I think. But I think the Green Lanterns have been taking the back seat for way too long.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm really happy, and I think Hal. Well, honestly, Hal, John, and Kyle are like my three favorite Lanterns.
Yeah.
So I hope that but he did say other Lanterns are in it, so I think that's cool. But I also think it's smart to just focus on two of them.
Yeah, and you can have like a supporting cast of all the others because there's a lot of them. So,
right. There's so
you
many.
Can go through
yeah.
a lot of them.
And then I think second for me would probably be Booster Gold.
Oh, I forgot about Booster.
He's a character I really liked ever since I read Death of Superman. And he doesn't really get that much love even in like the comics.
Yeah.
Like I think he's a really interesting character. He's not like the coolest per se, but he's just really interesting and fun. And the fact that they're finally doing a live action version outside of Smallville is really cool. I'm really looking forward to that. But overall, I'm pretty excited for all of these projects. Same. I'm especially looking forward to seeing like what they do going forward. Like who's gonna be each character and all that stuff, and who's gonna direct and write everything.
Right.
So, yeah, all that to say, I think those are our initial thoughts. Unless you wanted to add anything.
No, I think we pretty much covered it.
All right, sweet. Well, thank you everyone for watching. Leave a comment down below what project you're excited for, or if any. And yeah, we will see you next time. Oh, and be sure to check us out on social media and check out our podcast, Casual Experts Only, on any podcast platform you use. And keep your eyes out for our new in-depth analysis of all this slate coming Monday.
All right. Peace out.